Alright, let's get into it. If you've been following the twists and turns of the new DC universe under James Gunn, you've probably been wondering, is Robert Pattinson's Batman going to be a part of it? The short answer, not for now. That's right. Despite online rumors and fan theories galore, James Gunn has once again made it clear Pattinson's Batman exists in a completely separate space, under DC's Elseworlds label. But here's the kicker. Gunn added a little "for now" to his statement. So what does that mean? Is there a chance they'll merge? That phrase, "not right now," has caught everyone's attention. It suggests the door isn't completely closed. Pattinson's Batman, introduced in Matt Reeves' The Batman 2022, carved out a gritty, noir-style world that felt completely different from the campier tone of some DCU projects. So while fans loved it, it's always been a bit of a puzzle how to integrate that vision into the larger DCU. For now, Gunn is keeping the timelines separate. And that's probably a smart move. To make it clearer, Robert Pattinson's Batman will remain in DC's Elseworlds lineup. That's where DC tells stories outside of the shared universe. It gives creators like Matt Reeves the freedom to build unique versions of characters without needing to match continuity with Superman or Wonder Woman. In contrast, the DCU, being developed by Gunn and Peter Safran, is working on its own Batman story through the upcoming film The Brave and the Bold, featuring a different Bruce Wayne. No actor has been announced for that version yet, but we know it'll also introduce Damian Wayne as Robin. This confirms the two Batmen will operate in different universes, at least for now. So what about that "right now"? It's a key phrase, and could mean plans might shift in the future. According to insiders at Warner Bros., a lot may depend on how successful Superman is at the box office. That film, Gunn's first major swing at a DCU tentpole, just crossed $500 million globally. If it continues to perform well, the studio could become more confident in introducing a new Batman for this universe. However, if they feel the audiences are strongly attached to Pattinson's version, it's not out of the question that they might try to bridge the gap eventually. But again, no such plans are confirmed yet. Behind the scenes, there's also concern about tone. Robert Pattinson's Batman is dark, brooding, and gritty. Everything you'd expect from a Gotham noir. On the other hand, James Gunn's Superman has leaned into a lighter, more hopeful, and yes, occasionally humorous tone. Warner Brothers execs are reportedly pleased with Superman's direction, but there's hesitancy about how that tone could work with Batman. Gunn has said each DCU project will have its own tone, but fans are watching closely to see if that holds true. After all, Batman doesn't exactly do jokes and dance numbers. Then there's The Brave and the Bold, which remains firmly in development. Directed by Andy Muschietti, who also helmed The Flash, the film promises a fresh take on Batman, this time with his son, Damian Wayne, stepping in as Robin. This storyline comes directly from Grant Morrison's comics and is expected to be a father-son action drama set within the DCU timeline. It's one of the big pieces in Gunn and Safran's new continuity, and they're putting a lot of care into making sure this Batman feels distinct, without copying Reeves's version. Despite no casting announcements, Muschietti's presence at the Superman premiere indicates he's still very much involved in shaping DC's future. There's also speculation that this Batman could be more experienced, someone who's already had his time as a lone vigilante and now has to navigate being a mentor and father. That's a big tonal shift from Pattinson's younger, emotionally raw Bruce Wayne. So even though it's another Batman story, fans shouldn't expect it to feel like the Batman at all. Think of it more as an evolution, a Batman who's further along in his journey. Meanwhile, Matt Reeves continues to build out his own corner of the Batverse. The Batman Part 2 is in the works, continuing Pattinson's journey through Gotham's underbelly. Expect more detective noir, psychological tension, and maybe a return of Barry Keoghan's Joker. Reeves has been given freedom to explore this world without needing to coordinate with the broader DCU. For fans who prefer a grounded, cerebral take on the Dark Knight, this is the timeline to follow. It's clear that Warner Brothers sees value in offering both a cinematic multiverse of Batman, so to speak. Of course, the multiverse is now a staple in both Marvel and DC storytelling, so the idea of Pattinson crossing over isn't impossible, just not on the immediate radar. DC has already dabbled in timeline mashups with The Flash, and audiences seem open to the idea when it's done right. Still, the messaging from Gunn is consistent. For now, these stories remain separate. That's likely to avoid confusing audiences as the new DCU gets off the ground. Once things are more stable, we might see surprise cameos or crossovers. But don't hold your breath just yet. To wrap it all up, James Gunn has laid out a vision for a more structured, cohesive DC universe. That means clear boundaries, especially while the foundation is being built. Pattinson's Batman isn't going anywhere, but he's not entering the DCU either. Instead, we'll get a second Batman with his own tone, sidekicks, and storyline. It might feel strange to have two Batmen at once, but for now, it's a creative compromise that gives fans the best of both worlds. Whether these paths eventually collide, well, as Gunn said himself, it's not happening right now. But in this multiverse era, who really knows what's next? One big advantage of keeping Pattinson's Batman separate is creative freedom. Matt Reeves doesn't have to worry about lining up his timelines with Superman's latest mission or a Justice League crossover. That means he can dig deeper into Gotham's mythology, give more attention to side characters like Catwoman or the Penguin, and build his own cinematic trilogy without the pressure of feeding into a larger franchise. In fact, HBO Max is already working on a Penguin spin-off series, proving the studio's commitment to expanding that world organically. This approach lets two different Batman visions thrive without stepping on each other's capes. For fans, the split could actually be a win-win. Some audiences love the grounded, detective noir energy of The Batman, while others are excited about a broader, more comic book-driven DCU where Batman teams up with Green Lantern or faces cosmic threats. Having two versions of the character allows DC to cater to different tastes without forcing either vision to compromise. And let's be real, Batman is such an iconic figure that there's probably room for more than one interpretation at a time. Marvel has done this with Spider-Man across live action and animation, and fans embraced it. Why not Batman too? So where do we go from here? Well, all eyes are on DC Studios as it rolls out its next slate of projects. Superman has laid a strong foundation, and if the brave and the bold delivers, we could see a full DCU take shape, complete with its own Batman, Robin, and maybe even Bat-family. Meanwhile, Pattinson's darker Gotham saga continues down its own path, unbothered and uninterrupted. For now, Gunn and Reeves are steering in separate lanes. But in a universe where anything can happen, the possibility of a future crossover is never completely off the table. Only time will tell.